What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Existential Stoic podcast. Do you ever feel like you're stuck? Like other people tell you what to do, you just have obligations upon obligations. Well, if you do, you're in luck because today we're going to talk about how to be free. It's a quick fix. We're just going to share some tips so you can live freely and be your own you. I'm Danny and my buddy Randy. What's up, Randy?
Yo, Danny.
So, what was the first thing you thought of for the topic of how to be free?
Get out of debt.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Yeah, you took it very. No, I think that's a good one though, man, because it's like that's. I feel like so many people feel constrained by that.
Oh my God. It's modern slavery, you know?
Yeah,
And for many people it's lifelong. Like when I went to school with a bunch of people who racked up $250,000 in student loan debt, they're all like, "Oh, I'm never gonna pay it off." They're like, the government forgives it after 25 years. And I'm like, so you want to live with the debt? And then if you do the math on it, they forgive it, and the taxes that you owe on it when they forgive it is $250,000. So it's like you're
yeah.
literally going to have this until you die. So yeah, most people,
You never get rid of it, and it's funny because it's like, I think that assumption though, like especially in our country, man, that assumption that you're gonna always have it. Like, you know how many times I've talked to people like, well, I'll just roll my the rest of my car payment in my new car loan because I'll always have a car payment. It's
I
like, no, you
always
don't
have a
always
car
have to have
payment.
one. That's like
Yeah,
an insane way to think that you
I know.
always have to have one. Yeah.
Uh,
All right. So I'm gonna start, even though we kind
well,
of
I
already
already
started.
started, so
I
but
know.
I'll
All
explain
right.
it after you start. Yeah.
All right. I'll do. I want to do my first. All right.
Hmm.
So my first one, because I took this from a different angle, is be responsible. And I think like what I meant by this is like recognize, what you're in control of, what you're not, recognizing that, it's our choices that lead us to certain places in life, that it's our choice to be happy or to be not. I think all of that, recognizing the realm of responsibility of what's in our control is crucial for freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. Because once you take control, you completely open up the possibilities for your life. All of a sudden, you're not the
Yeah.
victim of life. You actually you hold the reins in your
Yeah.
hand. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one. So my first one, you'll never guess this, is get out of
Yeah.
debt. But but yeah, like before I started paying off debt, it was just like this oppressive thing on my back, like I forget what the saying is, the monkey, not the monkey on your chest, but like you're a beast of burden. You're just
Yeah.
carrying around this debt, and it doesn't go away. It's not going to go away on its own, but you just start paying it off, and it gets smaller and smaller over time. But debt is crazy because like I I would carry it around all the time where I just couldn't be free because of debt. And it's just like, yeah, get rid of that thing and then you can be more free. Because then you don't have these monthly payments all the time. And you can actually
No.
use your money for other cool stuff like helping other people.
It's funny. It is crucial. I think starting to take care of it too is always a really hard thing, but once you do, it feels so freeing because you can start whittling it away and seeing progress. And like, I don't know, personally, dude, I don't have any credit cards. Like, I got rid of all of them. And, it's so much better because I know how much I have. I know what I'm working with. There's not this like pretend like, oh, I have this amount of, you know,
Hmm.
credit I can access, even though it's really not money that I have. So it's better to live within your means
Dude, and it's
and have
absurdly
control over
high
everything.
interest rates. I mean, it's like 20
Oh
plus
God,
percent.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
it's like
insane.
it's right around what the national inflation levels are at. So it's like crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it is messed up.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one though. I like that one. My second one is and this is another one that goes with being responsible, I think, but find your own reasons, don't rely on others. And what I meant by that is like find your own reasons for doing things, for living life, for wanting to pursue things. I mean, just have your own. Don't parrot other people's reasons, other people's ideas. Make sure they're your own and that you can back them up. Because I think too many people just rely on like they listen to the news, they listen to their parents, they watch other stuff, they let all this stuff kind of weigh on them rather than making their own decisions and their own reasons for acting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's a huge one. And it's not it's I think we're almost like indoctrinated to just follow what other people do our whole entire lives. Like even we think
Oh
of
yeah,
young kids as being free thinkers, but they're only free thinkers in opposition to their parents. Like if you look at
yeah,
them, they're all doing the same thing all of their peers are doing. So it's like, yeah,
yeah.
it's just kind of questioning it and figuring out what's right for you. Yeah. So my next one for how to be free is face your fears. So I would say most, if not all of our fears, right on the other side of that is freedom. because there's something that we probably want, but we're
Nice.
letting that fear hold us back from having it. And so starting to approach your fears, to face your fears, can really help you be free, because then, because think about it, you have this thing that you're scared of, you're fearful of it. For me, for a long time, it was student debt. Like, I was terrified of it. And then one of my friends said, dude, you're terrible with money. And I had to like come to the realization, okay, I should start doing some stuff with it. But like, once I and for like the longest time, for like 10 years, it was like this fear that I had about addressing it. But then once I turned and faced it, it disappeared. It was almost like an illusion, and a lot more freedom came with it because I wasn't carrying around that giant burden.
I found the same thing with that. Yeah, was that like once you face it, it opens it up. And you're right. I think, like for almost when I look back on my life too, almost everything that was a fear, it was something that I really wanted. And that's the funny part, right? It's like because it's like most often I think we get afraid because, expectations, obligations line up with a different course of action, but what we really want is this other way. And we're just afraid of, turning away from like all that crap that we've been told our whole lives and doing what we really want. And I think, yeah, once you start doing that, though, you find your own life on the other side. You find your own happiness, and it's just everything's better. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's true freedom. I like that one. My last one is live intentionally. And what I meant by this was like, forming daily routines, forming goals, long-term goals, having a direction, having projects that you're working on, having stuff that gives you purpose and meaningful direction in life so that you can make choices that are guided towards those things and actually building something rather than just arbitrary.
Yeah, that's a great one. And even if you just want time freedom, living intentionally will give you that too, because then you can
Yeah.
plan to have some free time. You know,
Yeah.
there's something that I've read where it's like, never give a person who has all the time in the world a task to do, because they'll never get it done. Like,
Yeah.
if you want something done, give it to a busy person, because they'll know how to schedule
Yeah.
time and get it done. Yeah.
Somebody
So
can actually manage it.
yeah, right. So my last one is question your thinking for how to be free. So this actually comes from, I finished reading this book called Loving What Is. It's kind of this four-step questioning process about whenever you have like stress or worry or anything in your life, just a process for questioning that stress or worry, because oftentimes that stress or worry is caused by an untrue thought that we believe to be true. We're actually lying to ourselves, and because we're like caught in a lie, it causes us stress. And so evaluating those thoughts helps
He's
us.
seeing Papa.
And
Sorry.
yeah. So like evaluating,
He's sitting on
just
a chair.
doing dogs doing the show Cameo on YouTube. Yeah.
Sorry, that's funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
And so, but just by questioning your thinking, it allows you to be a lot more free, because instead of being stressed from this whole thing, you can see it for what it is, reevaluate it, and then actually feel free and peaceful.
I like that one too. And I was actually thinking of also just a question you're thinking too. I think just like also challenging yourself to make sure that it's your own, to actually, make sure you're not being misled too. You have to constantly kind of challenge yourself. I think we don't do that enough at all ever to really question ourselves and question what we're thinking about. But yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So that's it. That's a quick fix. Hopefully you can all start to live free and start and, embracing things that'll help you have more control in your lives. If you guys like this, please like, subscribe, share. It helps us out a lot. We'll be back later this week with a full-length episode. Until then, this is the Existential Stoic Podcast. Later, Randy.
Later, Danny.